Wait, what did Cody Ko do? I guess we should start with that one first, huh? Because that's the one that everybody wants to know about. So, Cody Ko, when he was 25, had sex with 17-year-old Tana Mojo. So, yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I have very odd. I don't even know how to feel about it. I don't even know how. Well, I know how I feel about it. The initial response, the easiest response is just like, the fuck is you doing? That's crazy. But you know what? Let's watch the video first. I've seen the video like 14 times by this point. But let's watch the video first, and then we'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it. Now, first of all, this video is by D'Angelo Wallace, and I will be so for real with you. I'll be so honest with you. I don't like D'Angelo Wallace. I don't have a problem with him. I don't like D'Angelo Wallace's content, I'll say. I don't like D'Angelo Wallace's content. I feel like there is this irony that comes with using your platform to confront other people about having large platforms. But there's something, I don't know, I can't really put my finger or my thumb on why it feels like the commentary world in general is super non-confrontational in person. And I've met a lot of them. I've met a lot of them. I've met a lot of commentary people, and they all seem very non-confrontational. Now, me, as y'all know, chat, I will bring it to your front door. I will bring it to your front door. If I feel like something's going on, yeah, I appreciate you with the logo of the video. I don't really like commentary channels. I don't really like commentary people. You know what I mean? I feel like going to the internet because that's the place where you have the most power to make a change is kind of dangerous. If you feel like you can't handle things in private at first and then you go to the internet, I think that's fine. Because you exhausted all your options before you pulled out your biggest trump card. But I feel like way too commonly, commentary channels look at situations like this as a means for gaining power, essentially. And I know that that's like not what the intent is, but you know that's what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You know that's what's going to happen. You know that the audiences in the commentary community, they will be like, they're super flip-floppy. The moment, like I could easily imagine everybody jumping from Cody Ko's ship to D'Angelo Wallace's ship. All the Cody Ko fans are just now D'Angelo Wallace fans. You see what I'm saying? When this shit happens all the time. We keep telling people not to idolize people. We keep saying stop idolizing these people, and instead you just jump. And it's very annoying. But I don't think it's about, and I want to make the point that it's not this particular situation, because it's obvious that they need to, like, Cody has an issue, you know what I'm saying? But I don't like the fact that it's so easy to manipulate a fan base just by doing the right thing. That's what I was trying to say. I don't like how easy it is to manipulate a fan base just by doing the right thing. Doing the right thing or saying the right thing should not allow you to have the amount of pull that you have in the commentary community. Anyway, Cody Ko at 25 has sex with a 17-year-old woman, and it's just not coming to light. Yes, doing the right thing should be the default, and we can applaud it, but we do not need to idolize it.
All right, Cody, let's have an uncomfortable
turn it up. Turn it up.
Conversation. Someone has been alleging for years now that you, one of the largest commentary creators on YouTube, knowingly committed a crime against her when she was a minor. But YouTubers and viewers alike are ignoring and discrediting these allegations solely because the person making them happens to be an unlikable woman online, Tana Mojo. And you know that people are ignoring this because nobody is working harder to bury the story than you. And you're getting away with it because commentary YouTube has a serious problem. I can't blame any of your viewers or my viewers for not hearing about this because you've done such a good job hiding it up until now that I only found out about it recently. The situation has been talked about by smaller channels, it's been discussed at length on other platforms, and it keeps almost hitting the mainstream, like with this Rolling Stone article or this H3 podcast discussion. But the reason it hasn't caught on yet, despite all of this, is that none of your friends, nobody on your level, nobody in the commentary niche with enough pull is willing to admit that this situation makes you look terrible.
A lot of people like him a lot, and they really are like doing any kind of mental gymnastic to just ignore it.
I'm not here to accuse you of committing a crime.
It also makes me want to ask this question. What do we do about this? Because we're in an era where we're kind of in like the street justice world. You know what I'm saying? What do we do when we find out about allegations of this level? You know what I'm saying? How do we as the outside people, and I mean outside of people that are not Tana and Cody, like how do we approach that? Like, what's the next step now that everyone has the information that he did this thing? Like, obviously, you can oust him. And that's like the common approach. But what happens after that? Is just shame and retirement like the go-to? Because this happened 8 years ago. Right? 8 years ago. And I don't even know the limits, because there are limits to which a case can be brought up. I don't know. I literally have no idea about the law enforcement world. But what does a community do? Do we just kind of remove him and just proceed? Because that shit ain't, well, I mean, the shit works, but the shit ain't working long term. You know what I mean? We got to figure out a way to prevent.
I'm in this video because I can't do that based on someone.
Where was this done? Because 17 isn't a minor everywhere. Florida, where it was a minor. Also, legality and morality are opposite ends of a spectrum. If you think 17 is an age of consent, that's fine, but 17 being an adult compared to 25 being an adult is never real. It's never real. I'll tell you that. I'm 28 and I wouldn't even hook up with someone that's not 22. Like and even that's going to struggle for me. I wouldn't even look at anybody that's not like, yeah, 25 is where I can see most women. But if it was like I'm just drunk and trying to hook up with something, 22 would be the minimum, the absolute minimum. If you can't get into a club and I can, if you can't get into a bar and I can, what the fuck is that about? You feel me? What the fuck is that about? I can get into the bar and you can't. Now, if you're 22 and they're like 20, that's, that's whatever. But once you get past 20, I'd say 24. Yeah, if you're above 24, even 23, and you can get into places that other people cannot because of your age, son. I want you to think about who you were at 17. Like, everyone's like, oh, you're an adult at 18. Yeah, maybe by legality, but I was probably the dumbest I ever was in my entire life was age 18 and 19. The dumbest I ever was in my entire life because I had the most freedom to make mistakes. And you're telling me you think 17 is an adult? 18's an adult? Son. Dummies. If you got teen in your age, if it says something teen, you're an idiot. And I think it's hard. Consent laws is hard. Sex is hard to discuss and talk about. You know what I'm saying? Because your body develops way faster than your mind. That's just true. And the horny parts of your brain, the primal parts of your brain develop way faster than like the ability to control yourself and to think correctly. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Trust me, I get it. And not to even seem infallible, I did awful, horrible shit. And I've talked about it. I used to be a nude hunter. Well, that sounds mad crazy, but like I used to DM girls and flirt with them, get nudes, like when I was like 18. Like, there's awful shit out there, bro. It takes time for you to grow. Yes, I like I said, I will. We've talked about it before, chat. I will admit my wrongdoings, right? I will admit my wrongdoings. I was on awful timing. And you grow up and you realize it's wrong. You know what I mean? But 17 and 25 is nuts. 17 to 25 is nuts. Once you're 25, it's like, bro, come on. Anyway.
Else's allegations. Nobody can definitively take these allegations as proof, but at the same time, they should still be looked at and not treated as an open secret and swept under the rug like you've been doing for so many years now.
I should not have said nude hunter, bro. As soon as I said, I was like, it's gonna get memed. It's gonna get memed to shit. I should have explained what it was and not given it a title, because now everybody's gonna be whatever, dude. It's whatever. I'll eat the L. That's my fault. I deserve it. I deserve to get made fun of for it because I was an idiot for it.
Now, and from the way the situation keeps popping up more and more often, it's clear that there's only so much rug sweeping.
That's what they called it back.
People
whatever.
Start taking a closer look at things. So let's take a closer look. We both know that Tana Mojo is a YouTube personality with a history of lies, controversy, and genuinely problematic behavior that's become so entangled with her brand that her podcast is called Cancelled with Tana Mojo.
Also, yeah, Tana did some fucked up shit. Like, she sucks. She's on a path to redemption for sure, but she kind of sucks. Not even kind of sucks. Yeah, she was on awful, evil timing. Now, that does not negate her allegations or her experiences at all. At all. Not a single part of that. She doesn't deserve anything. She just also does shitty, awful shit. Which proves my point that everybody does bad things and has bad things happen to them.
And speaking of this podcast, about a month ago, she hosted a live episode in front of an audience, and the conversation turned to you.
Who's the smallest you've ever had sex with?
Oh my God, no one look at me, Cody Ko. I can say that. I was literally 17. I can say that.
This clip started making the
Look at me, Cody Ko. I can say that. I was literally 17. I can say that.
This clip started making the rounds, and people were understandably perturbed because if Tana Mojo was 17, you would have been 25. So people started speculating, and Tana decided to set the record straight.
What's so crazy is I remember being in college and watching the video of them like together. There's a video on YouTube of them together, and I thought they were way closer in age. I thought she was like 20, and I thought he was like 23. I did not know she was 17 at the time of the rise, like on her rise to fame. And I did not know he was 25, bro. That shit is crazy.
I hooked up with Cody Ko when I was 17 and he was 25.
She claims that not only were you fully aware of her age at the time, but someone even tried to stop you and you went ahead anyway.
There was a situation with Gabby Hanna at a playlist live.
Gabby Hanna also terrible, but did the right thing here. Shout out to her for doing the right thing.
Where she pulled him aside and told him like, yo, she's 17. And then we still went and hooked up.
To be clear, 17 is under the age
Oh,
of
dude, that's
consent in
crazy.
many
Yeah,
states,
yeah.
including
Getting called out, not only because you hooked up with a 17-year-old, but the way it came up was because you were the smallest penis that she'd ever had sex with is two definitive L's that I could not take at the same time. Not only am I mid-crime commit, but I'm also the smallest wing wang. That's awful. That would ruin my life. That would ruin my life. Every day I'd have to wake up thinking about that shit. Everybody knows you as Lil Dick Freakazoid. Lil Schmeat kid diddle.
Florida, where Playlist Live used to take place. So this means that Tana Mojo is accusing you of statutory rape, and she's not trying to hide that.
This isn't just some crazy tea. It was a crime.
Tevin, you're just bad at nicknames. I got a nickname for you. Stupid bitch.
Nothing would make this situation better, but plenty of things make it worse, like the fact that she was a fan of yours at the time, adding an additional layer to the power dynamic you would have had over her.
I grew up loving him, and I think you know what I mean? Like I was just like excited and a fan.
Tana seems to have many feelings about this, which we'll go over a bit later, but she stated very clearly that the actions she's accusing you of
Whatever you say, nude hunter.
If I had a 17-year-old daughter or a little sister or something,
Whatever,
I would
Chad.
kill. I would never let it fly.
These recent allegations are bad enough on their own, but there are a couple of things that make them worse still. Things that many people don't know yet, but you do. You know that Tana has been making this same specific claim against you for years now. Here she is back in 2021 saying the same thing.
I was 17 at the time, 18. I started kind of hooking up with other people. Shout out JC Kalen, shout out Cody Ko.
But what lends the most credit?
Also, why is no one talking about JC? JC got a weird case. Why is he around? Like, come on now. He is also famous. Is he closer to the same age? Maybe that's why.
Credibility to Tana's claims, and what is really...
Who the hell is JC Kalen? He's kind of retired now, but he used to do shit with like Key and Lolly and shit like that. Vine people. Vine shit.
The most damning thing for you, Cody, is a clip that you might not have even seen yet. See, I read the Rolling Stone article, I watched the YouTube videos about this, and they all missed something. And I understand why. The clip I'm about to show you is extremely hard to find. The original has been lost to time, and it's a wonder we have this on video at all. But if there was anything to give me any more clarity about these allegations before I formed my opinion, I was going to find it. Remember how Tana said that fellow YouTuber Gabby Hanna tried to stop you before everything allegedly went down? Well, did you know that Gabby is actually on record telling the exact same story several years ago?
One time, I told
this is
the
crazy.
guy, I saw him making out with a girl at a party who was underage, and I pulled him aside and I was like, hey man, you probably don't know, I know she like looks a little older, she's underage, watch it. And he's like, oh my god, thank you for telling me. And then he turned that.
This is really
insane. It's actually not insane because how many men in the chat, actually cut this whole video. Men in the chat. How one in the chat if you're a man in the chat. One in the chat right now. One in the chat. I need to see how many men are in the chat. How many, where are my dogs at? How many of y'all know a nigga that is just like this? Where you keep going up, where you go up to your boy, you go up to you meet a dude at a party, it's like, oh, this nigga's kind of cool, he's kind of chill, whatever. And then some shit goes down and you're like, well, hey, that girl's like mad young, or like that girl's fucked up, bro, type shit. And then they're like, oh, bro, it's crazy. Yeah, bro, I probably shouldn't do nothing. You right. And then they look at you like this. They do this shit. They always do this shit. They go, bro, thanks for telling me, bro. You're a real one. You're a real one, bro. I'm not trying to catch no case. And you're like, yeah, man, like, I know. I've seen some crazy shit out here. Like, we need to do better. Men need to do better. And then them niggas go and do it anyway. They do it anyway. Every time. It's like once a party, this shit happens, dog. But yeah, man. There are evil people out there. The whole point of me talking about that is that men, very, very similar to racism, men do not think the shit they're doing makes them like a sexual deviant, like someone who sexually assaults. It's like, oh, but she wanted to hook up with me and da-da-da-da. If she's too young, a sexual assault. If she gives you any sign of like tension or resistance, it could be sexual assault. You don't think it is because you're in the moment, but it is. Fucking dipshit.
Really bad. People make accusations all the time, specifically regarding things that are very difficult to prove or disprove, unfortunate as that may be. But when somebody makes an allegation and they say they have a witness, and that witness can be found telling the exact same story years before any of this came out, that's not something I can just ignore. In a situation that cannot be proven, corroboration by a third party goes a long way. And frankly, Cody, the allegations against you seem to have been corroborated. But instead of researching to find these answers like I did, many of your fans seem far more interested in attacking your accuser.
I have seen so many comments, but what was she wearing? It's Tana, so who cares? Well, it's Tana Mojo.
The reaction to this has been unsurprising but incredibly disappointing, demanding proof that they know she can't provide, acting like she's only doing this to gain clout or ruin you somehow, despite the fact that she's never won.
That shit is so crazy. How is sexual assault gonna get you clout? Stop with that rhetoric. All it ever gets people is hated on. Hello? You ain't gonna win no fucking fans over by saying, oh yeah, I got touched inappropriately. Knock that shit off. All you're gonna get is several hundred hate DMs.
Put your name in a video title over this. Or worst of all, implying that a 17-year-old could have truly consented to any of this. But let's be clear about one thing. That is not the case. No amount of retroactive age calculations or what-if scenarios change the fact that what Tana described would be, objectively speaking, a crime. A crime which you've said absolutely nothing about. And even if this wasn't illegal, you remember being 25. You would have known then, as I currently know at age 25, that nobody this age should need an explanation for why a 17-year-old is off limits. Because you remember being 17 too. Now, thankfully, Tana's personal experience with this isn't one of trauma. In fact, I've seen people defending you by saying, Tana said she doesn't care, so why should any of us care? But that's not exactly what she was saying.
I don't associate or hold it with trauma because I am such a comparative person where I'm like, so many worse things have happened to me.
And even if something isn't consciously internalized as an identifiable source of trauma, the body keeps the score.
I know things manifest in ways other than me directly feeling them. Like maybe I don't feel traumatized in certain aspects from certain things, and other things I do. But, you know, maybe they just manifest in ways other than directly feeling.
The answer to why any of us should care is that a person has tried to come forward about her experience and has been met with the most vitriolic victim blaming I've seen in years. She's been dismissed, discredited, and disbelieved before anybody ever gave her a chance. because it's Tana, which sets a horrible precedent that if a person runs out of goodwill, they lose the right to come forward with their experiences.
The most traumatizing thing of all of this really was seeing how many people like don't believe people or don't believe me. I feel so bad for all of these young girls because then they see.
All right, Fresco. I know a lot of people are talking about this from this angle where it's like, oh, like how can we not believe somebody that has gone through this? Unfortunately, that just is the experience. If you lie, people will not believe you. If you have notoriously bad faith arguments and like set things up commonly, you will not be believed initially. It's not to say that she didn't deserve to be believed in this moment, but yeah, if you lie a lot, people are just going to assume you lie a lot. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I feel like this point is semi-moot. Like, and I'm just being so, I just want to be completely transparent. I would not believe Tana initially if she was like, well, actually I would. In this specific instance, if she was like, yeah, Cody Ko hooked up with me when I was 17, I'd be like, that sounds extremely believable. But if she was like lambasting the story and making it seem like way more chaotic than it was, I'd be like, I don't believe you. I think you're lying about some shit like that because she just has a notorious thing. Now, thankfully, she's telling it very plainly and it's easy to believe something like this. But yeah, unfortunately, that's just the case. If I lied to you, chat, if I lied to you all the time and I was like, oh, I'm playing this video game today, I'm playing this video game today, I'm playing this video game today, and I just never did it, the day I did it, you guys would be like, what the fuck? He's actually playing it. That's just the human brain. But you do. I sure do. But I don't hide it. Dude, consistent streams will happen when I'm not bipolar. So think about that. Think about that. You want me to come on here and just cry and talk about how I want to die for 5 hours? I could do that. Is that content for y'all? I mean, bipolar sucks, dude. Think about like this. Think about how Kanye West acts half the time. You know that those Kanye West moments where he's like, the stairs are made of soap and fucking I'm pissing on the Grammys and it's a Jewish doctor. That's what it would sound like. Well, it wouldn't sound nearly as anti-Semitic, but that's what it would sound like when I'm bipolar. I would just be saying shit all the time. That's what you want to hear when I'm having bad days. There's a reason why I lock myself up. I'm like, nobody needs to hear this sad ass shit. Nobody needs to hear this trauma.
That, and then it makes them not want to come forward.
And you, Cody, are part of the reason she's been met with this reaction. Your status as one of YouTube's golden boys has made it possible for you to ignore a situation that almost anyone else would have had to respond to by now.
I know for a fact if you swapped out Cody Ko with someone that like people didn't like that much, I would be receiving so much more sympathy.
Also, similarly, like, I think everyone could probably agree that Cody is actually a pretty solid dude all around. Like, I don't think anybody has a problem saying, like, oh, he's actually a pretty solid dude. Solid people, they fuck up. And you gotta get their ass. And it sucks. It sucks when you have to, because you know they fucked up. They know they fucked up. And sometimes you just gotta get their ass. You gotta get their ass. It hurts to hold people accountable when you know they are capable of doing better. It hurts. It's like, damn, I don't want to do this. I don't want to. I can tell that you're a solid dude, but you fucked this shit up. You fucked it up. You let your mind, you slip. You got caught slipping. You clearly didn't have the self-control that you were supposed to have at this time. You clearly weren't being the good person that you normally would be. Ain't nothing I can do for you.
I find your silence on the situation to be uncomfortable because I know that if Tana's allegations are true,
it's easy to hurt. It's easy to condemn bad people. Like serial rapists, like murderers and shit like that. It's easy to condemn those people. It's easy to condemn those people because you have this fucking vitriol in you. Like, boo, yeah, we already don't like this guy. The vibes were off. It's easy. But when it's a good person and you feel it, you're like, man, you a solid dude. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? You still have to do it.
true, then silence would be your only option, since telling the truth would be tantamount to confessing to a crime, and lying would put you at risk of being contradicted by a witness. And like I
Tana is attractive, I would say. I personally wouldn't. It's same with Rihanna, where it's like attractive people. First of all, actually, cut that whole conversation, because in a time as serious as this, we do not need to talk about somebody's appeal or attractiveness. That's on me. Sorry.
I told you at the beginning,
all right, next.
I'm not accusing you of committing a crime, but even if what Tana says is false, your silence is still grossly incompetent at best. Why are you choosing the path that would be your only option if you were guilty? Now, some seem to think that you're not obligated to speak up, and maybe that's what people around you are telling you as well. But from one creator to another, you absolutely have an obligation to, at the very least, call out the misogyny, the victim blaming, and all manner of cognitive dissonance that's coming from your audience in the name of defending you against allegations that you're too cowardly to address. And to be clear, this is cowardice, because you demonstrate it whenever there's controversy afoot. Tana,
I don't like plain speak attempts to talk about allegations when you put in things that words like cowardly. Those are ad hominem, and it dilutes your ability to speak plainly about a subject, and it hurts your argument. Don't like it. I don't like when people attack the person that is being alleged, even if it is confirmed, because it hurts your argument for sure. That's what got Nick in trouble. The Nick is not green shit. Attacking the person that you are addressing or just going over the facts for will always hurt the shit that you have going on.
Tana's further claims make it sound like you're terrified.
I said something about it online, and it was starting to surface. And he texted me like, "Are we good?" And was like, I said, "Yeah." And like, he was like, "My wedding's coming up."
You do have a history of making bad choices when you're terrified of people finding things out, like your history of using slurs.
5 nigga, 6 nigga, 7 nigga, 8 nigga, 9 nigga.
There's more.
That, I'm not even gonna lie, that part made me laugh. I was like, whoops. Whoops. They got your ass in fucking 10K. I feel that, but the bit about his wife's channel makes me agree. You can agree with it, but it doesn't make the credibility be lowered. Yeah, this part made me laugh. I couldn't do anything but laugh. I was like, they really got your ass. They really got your ass. And the funny thing about this is, knowing his age now, he was probably like 22 when this shit happened. That was Cody Ko, yes.
Like your history of using slurs.
5 nigga, 6 nigga, 7 nigga, 8 nigga, 9 nigga.
There's more.
You're not even 17 or 18 in that shit, bro. That's got 22. Oh, man. That's Duke University right there. That's that Duke University shit.
Clips than that, but the reason most people are blissfully unaware of them is because you posted your vague apology not on Twitter, not on YouTube, but on Patreon.
That's so funny. Imagine if I did some shit and I posted my apology on Patreon.
despite acknowledging in your apology that the clips were surfacing on Twitter. This is one of many examples of your poor handling of controversy. Not many people know that you've already lost fans over an eerily similar topic. You used to frequently feature and promote your college friend Colby Leachman in your videos, until it came out that during your school days, Leachman's university put him on probation for, as a United States District Judge would later put it, the non-consensual videotaping of a sex act with another student, showing the video to other people, lying to the police about the video, and behaving horribly to that individual and at least one other woman.
Now that's prison. Get your ass to prison. Whoever that dude, get your ass to prison.
To make matters worse, the woman in the video also alleged that Leachman drugged her before the recording and that she hadn't actually consented to anything at all.
Yeah,
you
that
had
part.
This man in your videos. You were telling us to follow him on Instagram, and at some point you did wise up, so he's no longer part of your content, but he still seems like he's very much a part of your friend group. From the continued hangout since then to inviting him to your wedding just last year, people are under the impression that you're best friends with someone who, at best, committed an illegal sex act and at worst is an alleged rapist. And no matter how many times people rediscover this information over the years, you refuse to say anything at all. You could clarify this, but you won't. But now your cowardice has reached a new low. You've tried speaking and you've tried silence.
Okay, so here's that part. Here's that part that always is like hard for me, because what happens if the person in your life has rehabilitated? Do you have the ability to still have people like that in your life? Like, let's say the cousin that I had he fully rehabilitated, could I allow him back into my life? Had he done the full thing? No. Why do you guys say no? Because it's conflicting for me. Because that would essentially mean that, like, you would essentially, like, remove everybody from that person's life. You know what I'm saying? Like, has that person forfeited the ability to have friends in any capacity? Or is it a situation where, yeah? Well, then at what point, I mean, you might as well just not be alive. You might as well just not be alive. I don't know if I believe that. Obviously, it's a atrocious crime that you need to have a long removal for. But I don't know if you can be cut off from the entire world. That makes sense, Todd. That makes sense. Tevin with the subtle low tier God. I just don't believe it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, kill these niggas, blah 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 blah. Like, I get it if they die, like, whatever. But I don't think that anybody that goes through the actual transformation of, like, being in prison for 40, 50, 60 years and then coming out and then people being like, well, fuck you for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Because you actually did the time of rehabilitation. You know what I mean? And at that point, it's hard, but you gotta let that person have their chance at life. It does depend on the crime. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to say somebody who murdered 30 people gets to have rehabilitation of any kind. I wouldn't consider prison rehabilitation in the States. That's true. That's true, for sure. Sorry, I haven't been forgiven for doing less. I mean, whatever. I guess it's too deep of a conversation to have for Twitch chat. Fuck it. Fucking clip farming. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Kill. Dude, we should kill Cody Ko. We should fucking... we should just find and beat him to death with hammers for this.
And now you're choosing
there you go, there's your clip farm.
On your YouTube channel, where you've been pumping out content nearly every day now, I couldn't find a single comment on your last video about this situation. Not even one.
We got a clip farm
that
chat.
to the comment section on your Instagram, where every single comment I saw was about this. It's clear that you're heavily censoring your audience on YouTube. But surely you must have realized the limits by now, since people have just transferred the conversation over to your wife's channel. The fact that her comment section is overrun due to your...
This shit makes me so mad. This shit makes me so mad. For one, it's unfortunate that it has bled into her life because he has not said anything. But second of all, absolute shame on the fucking awful people that go to his wife, who probably did not even know anything about this shit, and are talking to her like she has made some grave error. She did not even know this man at the time. And now she's getting all of this.
Conversation over to your wife's channel.
In this part right here, where was it at?
Fact that her comment section.
Women that defend men like her husband are scary. What kind of son will she raise? This shit right here, this shit is criminal behavior. This shit right here is criminal to me. What kind of son will she raise? Are you kidding me? You need your ass whooped for this shit.
Section is overrun due to your
try to talk to my mom like that. I don't care if I murdered a whole family. Try to talk to my mom like that, and you'll be the second family I murdered. She ain't got nothing to do with that. She ain't got nothing to do with that.
Your decision to stay silent about this should be all the proof you need that that decision was wrong. At this point, your silence and censorship are a response with disturbing implications. The only thing that I've seen this hidden portion of your audience asking for is the truth.
And also, and I'm not going to get too hard on D'Angelo, but he should have condemned that shit as well.
So why aren't you telling it? And your silence isn't the only one that's bothering me either.
All these Reddit threads, like if my name's on any thread, it's all getting deleted.
I witnessed the heavy-handed moderation of your subreddit in real time as I researched this video. I would refresh the page and posts would suddenly be unapproved by
But at what point can you reasonably say this was never brought to anyone in the TMG circle's attention? It could have been completely... Nigga, Ted Bundy's wife didn't know Ted Bundy was a serial killer. What are you talking about? It can be completely hidden from somebody's life. Completely, entirely hidden. Like, you guys are giving way too much of the benefit of the doubt that, like, people know what's going on. I'm not thinking about... If I'm Noel Miller, I'm not thinking about Cody Ko all the time. My life doesn't revolve around him. There's a whole other life I have going on. You know what I'm saying? I may not know some shit that I don't know about somebody. You know what I'm saying? No one is that chronically online. Like, people are thinking about you way less than you think.
Moderators, after racking up hundreds of comments, removed because they could, quote, instigate drama, or more commonly,
they probably
just
did not
and
know
or
about
removed
this
with no reason given whatsoever. I'm sure whoever is doing this thinks they're helping you, but you should probably tell them that they're making things look 10 times worse. But it's not just your moderators, it's your friends and fellow YouTubers too. It's no coincidence that with the exception of the H3 podcast,
great channel, by the way, they definitely also don't have insane shit and problems that they have to answer about.
I haven't seen a single channel over 1 million subscribers do so much as acknowledge that this situation exists. And I'm not talking about channels that never would have discussed something like this either. I mean the same channels that were rightfully calling out people like Dr. Disrespect for texting a minor, which is
insane shit, by the way. Fucking 35, 33 in 17. Even crazier.
The same channels that are now completely ignoring a scenario with an even bigger creator being accused of doing something much worse. You can't say it's because the allegations are unconfirmed, because the channels that I'm talking about discuss rumors all the time, and this video is all the proof you need that there's still plenty to discuss even without making definitive statements. The general public may not know about the situation, but I promise you, anyone who's online enough to run a YouTube channel does.
I did not know about this. This had to have been commentary only. Anybody who's online enough to run a YouTube channel, I didn't know about it, and I'm chronically online. So, you know, grain of salt, dog.
Amount of people in this industry who like want to protect him and are like talking to me in a way where it's like they, you know what I mean? Like, or even just friends like, but I love him.
The community's silence on this has been so staggering that people are now saying that commentary YouTube is a boys club, aka.
Which, shut the fuck up. Oh my God. What you mean you just went outside? True. The tan? What is it, the braids?
A male-dominated space that mistreats women while enabling and protecting men. And
this shit is so ridiculous, bro. The commentary scene is so dedicated to women. Possibly shallowly. I will agree with that. In the most shallow surface level way. But it is absolutely catered to women. I would say the commentary demographic is much more women to men sided. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? Come on, man. You go to like Twitch streamers demographics and it's like 99 to 1, 90 10, 80 20 at best. Commentary YouTubers, it's like 50-50.
Truth is, Cody, whether you're guilty or not, you are being enabled to ignore this and protected from having to respond as an act of misogyny towards Tana Mojo. We both know that on our side of commentary YouTube, any man can easily elevate himself by dunking on misogynists.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. So now he's talking about it. Yeah. Surface level shit. Easy. Very easy to become. All you gotta do is grift. You gotta do the left-wing grift. Well, the situation, man. Fuck it, bro. It ain't me, I guess. Like, I don't know what to say anymore. This happens so often. This is happening so often that I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do.